Hi, everyone, and welcome to my overview on the lightning talk session around Metaverse learning. Okay, so starting point for this session is just being aware of some of the key terminology linked when we talk about Metaverse learning in particular. So one of the first terms that gets used quite a lot is VR or virtual reality. And in this regards, that is an immersive digital environment that replaces the real world. If any of you got kids or you're familiar with Minecraft, mine are mad for that at the moment. But that is a good example of a virtual reality game space. All right. Next one is augmented reality or AR. All right. So that is where digital content is overlaid onto the real world and then is seen through devices. Again, all my examples are going to come from my kids. But for example, Pokemon Go has an AR feature whereby the Pokemon will then pop up in lifetime on the table, on the floor, outside, and you can throw a Pokeball and try and catch them. Yeah, so that would be kind of augmented reality overlaid on top of the real world. Extended reality is basically, in simple terms, a combination of the two and everything in between. So if we've got augmented reality, in a virtual space, that would be an example of XR or extended reality. So if we use those terms during this little video overview, that's what they mean. Okay, so why should we care? And what's it got to do with us in college? All right. So pretty comprehensive research, and some of that is towards the tail end of this presentation, which you will have access to, that tells us that VR, XR, AR is kind of linked to improving student engagement. So it allows us to create immersive interactive experiences. Little bit of metacognition. If we have an experience, we're more likely to remember it and we're more likely to be engaged in the process. Real world simulation. So VR and AR particularly allows us to do things like fieldwork or digital field trips or enrichment to take students to places that we wouldn't be able to take them in otherwise. Example that comes to mind for this at the moment in our immersive rooms on the headsets, we've got an Anne Frank simulation whereby you can go in and have a wander around and have a little look at that space. Really good option if you can't physically get to it. Next one is global access. So remote learners can attend physically simulated environments. So again, from anywhere, we'll be able to create virtual spaces that students can join, and then they can feel immersed or involved, regardless of where they are, which allows us to reach students in a range of different ways. And last and not least, future readiness. So skills in VR and AR and these kind of aspects are growing in demand in a lot of industries. Yes, if you look at kind of childcare, healthcare, those kind of aspects, again, those come to mind where we've got simulations. And if you go into your industries and have a look where some of this is being used, I promise you will find kind of good examples. Okay, so where to start? What can we offer here at Macon College? All right, something that we might signpost you to have a little play with if you're interested in creating your own virtual spaces that you can then ask your students to join via link, tablet, phone, screen, headset, entirely up to you. FrameVR.io allows you to create up to 3 of these spaces at any given time. Yeah, so here's some examples on the screen. You've got kind of a neon one on the top left. You've got a nice kind of feng shui open space that the students can kind of join, a little bit like Sims, if anyone's played that. And then they can wander around, talk, collaborate, communicate. And vice versa, we've got a gallery at the bottom left where students or you could put work up on the screens on the side. Students can come in and click and access and have a little view. Or again, a big auditorium. So maybe you want to do a big presentation to a couple of groups of your students. They can all join digitally, sit down, and they can listen to your avatar. Again, all compatible with our immersive rooms available at both sites. So we've got Medway E412, and we've got our UCM immersive room in C205, each equipped with 10 MetaQuest headsets, so we can get the students to kind of access those. Next one we'd offer is we've got a educational license for the software called ThingLink. Great program. Again, as you can see on the screen, you can instantly generate immersive learning experiences. There's a range of different options available to you to do that. You just have to create an account with your Making College email address. You get full access, all the bells and whistles. As you can see on the left-hand side, you can create media. So you can create 360 images. We'll give you an example of what one of those looks like shortly. You can create scenario builders whereby students can answer questions and then it will branch off and take them to another kind of VR or AR aspect. Or again, you can create your own augmented reality assets, which you can then keep in ThingLink. Again, all compatible with our immersive rooms and our MetaQuest headsets. Here's a little example. So we've got a care home setting that was created by one of our staff here at Mid-Kent College. Yeah, so this is an example of a kind of just a virtual space. Again, you'll see the icon at the bottom here with the little kind of headset that says VR. We can get a VR link to that and put this on the headset so that yourself or students could then look around and wander around this care home space. I can then use the navigation tools to have a little look around, can get a little feel for the space. What have we got added in? Got some aspects added in, fantastic. What we got? Trip table hazards. We've got lots of different bits and pieces on here. Again, you can add multiple choice questions into these spaces so that students have to answer them. Again, just creating that involved, immersed, interactive experience. There's an example of multiple choice question. All right, that allows them to be involved. Maybe you can't get this, you can't get the students out to visit a care home locally. Too much red tape, admin, paperwork, time constraints. Or come and visit one digitally. We can do that. We can get them all to explore. Okay, some considerations and challenges because this stuff is, not without its challenges to say the least. So, a couple of things to consider: access and equity. Not all students will have VR headsets. All right, some of them will have never experienced VR before. It can be a little bit overwhelming. They haven't got access to the tech. They haven't seen it before. That can definitely be a thing. Tech literacy. How confident are you in using some of this stuff? How much IT support have you had? How digitally kind of upskilled are you? Again, owning that, and that's part of the equation. Content creation. So who's going to build the spaces? Yeah, that takes a lot of time. It takes a bit of skill. Yeah, so I was saying about that care home space, but that took a bit of time and a bit of effort to make. All right, and then last but not least, we've got the privacy and the ethics, really, really important. So things like upskilling and making you aware and the students aware on the data protection regulations, things like deep fake concerns. Students are worried about their digital kind of stamp and their kind of track record being logged, monitored, voices being put out there, faces. Yeah, because that is all concerns that people may have. That being said, what have we got to help with all of those considerations? Well, these are some examples of what we've got. So on the left-hand side, you can see here some students with the MetaQuest headsets on, sat down, kind of engaging, playing, exploring. In the background, I'll draw your eyes to the logo on the screen. So that is our Learning Technologists logo. We have got two amazing learning technologists that are fully upskilled on all of these programs and really enjoy this stuff. They're a bookable service to sit with you, support you, design with you, content create, and basically just be there through the whole process. If you've got something you'd like to make or a vision, they can help you bring it to life. So can I. So a big part of my role is leading on digital innovation at the college. Yeah, again, please reach out. Please speak to us. Another example, what else have we got to support? We've got some digital spaces, so some digitally enhanced classrooms. This is our 21st century classroom. You can see here on the bottom right hand side with casting capabilities to the screens, interactive TV screens to allow you and your students to get involved and participate and be actively involved. Okay, and at the top, example of one of our immersive rooms. So we've got access to multiple screens and devices. We've got our 10 headsets on the wall. So these rooms are fully equipped with the MetaQuest VR headsets to allow for a truly immersive experience. So again, if you would like a tour, maybe you just haven't been in those spaces yet, you're not confident at jumping in here and teaching, we can allow you to just jump in and have a little look around, have a play, have an explore, turn on the screens, turn them back off again, plug in your laptop, come and play. Please come and play. Yeah. Again, if you're quite confident and you feel like you'd like to have a go, these immersive rooms up the top and this 21st century classroom are bookable spaces. You can go straight to MIS, you can book, and you could be teaching in those next week. Okay. So last bits, if you're not sold. So just some things, again, backed by research here. So benefits of VR/AR for SEN learners, so any students with additional learning needs. So we've got things like it can create a multi-sensory learning experience. So VR and AR engages visual, auditory, and kinesthetic senses. So it allows, again, that immersive experience. Research has found that that is especially beneficial for students with dyslexia, autism, and ADHD, which, again, think of your own student cohorts. Are those kind of number of SEN needs on the rise? If they are, maybe this can help. Safe and controlled environments. So VR helps students with autism practice their social scenarios without the stress of real life unpredictability. Yeah, again, underneath immersive environments, yeah, like our VR AR spaces, yeah, they help students with attention difficulty stay focused. They allow you to remove distractions, make it ideal for learners with ADHD. So there's perfect example of spaces you can use to support with those needs. Just backing that with research, if you're interested in finding out where some of that's come from. Yeah, so again, this would be where you could find some of that research to back that up. So again, it might not solve all of your problems, but it might help. Okay, so last and not least, just a little thinking point just to round off on. In your area or your expertise, curriculum, support staff, whatever you may be, where could this help? Where do you envisage this being used? Have a little think. And we'd love to hear back from you. Let's get together, let's grab a coffee, let's talk, and let's think how we can create memorable, immersive experiences for our students and for yourselves as well. Thank you again for stopping by.